Hello everyone. In the previous parts of this two-parter episode, we took a general look around this laptop in its completely unrestored state. Now, software-wise, it is okay. There was a few CMOS errors, and well, it's got quite a few pre-installed applications. And as you're about to find out, the sound quality on this unit is not great.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah, so today is going to be the restoration. I do hope you enjoy this video. Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of the restoration of a Panasonic Toughbook CF27. Now, as you may have remembered from the last video, this thing is pretty filthy, but, well, it's workable. I mean, it's all the software is working on it and most of the hardware. Now, I have encountered a small issue. As you may recall from the last episode, the battery on this thing actually works. However, today, when I plugged it in and tried to switch it on, because it was at 100%, I tried to switch it on without, I've got to do it again now actually. Well, as you can see, it doesn't work. I tried to switch it on without actually plugging it in, and I realised that it wasn't working, which is weird, seeing as it was 100% yesterday. So, I'll just plug it in now and boot it up once the battery light comes on. There we are. Right, so it's booting up now. So, basically it's got an issue with its battery, and that error message that you may have seen yesterday when we first turned it on, that repeated itself today as well. As you can see here if I zoom in. And as you can already see, I'll just press F1. The screen is filthy, so that will need to be cleaned off. And we'll also have a look, beg your pardon, in the actual unit itself to see the condition of the hardware and to see if any greasy oils or whatever seeped through. Now, my theory on this machine is that it started out life. Oh, there's the startup music. Well, it started out life most probably in an industrial environment, and then it was filtered down and it most probably given to somebody else, because there are quite a few games on this, like the old Star Trek Armada. Unfortunately that requires a disc to play, so... Oh, there's that nice music again. Right, so I'll just close out of that. So yeah, software-wise it's fine, but hardware-wise it just needs cleaning up, and we'll also take a look underneath the casing and have a look at the hardware as well. So, let's get to it. Right, so it's cleaned up nicely now. Now, one thing that I have noticed before we open this up is around the side here, where the charge port is. As you can see, we've got this little cover for it here. Now, the only thing is that can't slot back into place, and I've had a bit more examination of it, and if I lower the camera slightly, you should be able to see that this has actually become slightly ripped off from where it should be, so I'm going to need to apply some, I don't know, most probably super glue to that just to make sure it doesn't completely come off anyway. So that's that anyway, and we'll better leave that alone. So let's just turn this over now and actually have a look inside the unit. So it's very easy to open this up. All we need to do is these two slidey things. We need to push these inwards and turn it completely upside down, and you might see these two bits on either side. All we need to do is just pull that up, and that slots right off. So if I pull this in closer, oh crikey. Well, obviously we can see, I'm pretty sure, is that RAM? Yes it is. So we've got the tiny little RAM there, we've got the battery pack, and we've got the hard drive. Now I've been having a few issues with the actual battery. It seems that its charge was completely depleted, and that's after yesterday when I found out they had a good battery. So that's rather odd. So I'm not quite sure what I can do about that. I mean, it's in properly, so it can't be that. Not even sure how to get this thing out. Oh, there we are. Well, I could just do the age-old thing of blowing. There we are, that'll work. Age-old trick. God, there's a lot of copper in there as well. Right, so I'll slot that back in, if I can figure out how to. There we are. That's in nicely now. And what else shall we do? How about this bit here? That is for the optical drive, so I'll put that back in. And I believe that's basically, well, the innards. I mean, it's got quite a dirty inside of the panel there. I mean, full of grease and all sorts of horrible things. So I'll clean that up, stick it back inside. I mean, the actual components themselves are completely fine. The hard drive's alright. The RAM's okay. It's got no muck on it, so that's right. And I believe that's a little PC speaker there. So yeah, I'll just clean this up, put the panel back on, and hopefully that would have sorted the battery issue, because that usually works, believe it or not. I don't know how, but I suppose it's just, maybe it's got a loose connection, and I just slotted that back into place properly and it's locked in, so that's okay. Right, so let's get to it. Okay, so I've cleaned that off now. Let's just stick that back on. It's a very good locking system. I mean, if I zoom in, then as you can see, that's release, and you can see there's a little, well, it's almost like it's on a rail, and it clicks into place. So obviously you can see that's released at the moment. All you have to do is slot that back and then it's locked in again. Good little simple, straightforward system at getting at the internal components of this thing. Quite like that, really. Right, well, doing that trick with the battery has worked, and it's, well, on its own power at the moment. Oh dear. And it's got that scan to disk partition not found error again. So now it's to the software. Let's press F1 to resume, and let's have some fun. So I'm going to do some standard checks first, like the built-in scan disk to make sure that the hard drive is in order. And then we'll go from there. Here comes that really nice sound. Right, so one thing that is obvious is I do need to replace the CMOS battery, and not sure, well, I don't have a spare one anywhere, so I'll probably have to order one off eBay. There's the little tune that Windows 98 likes playing all the time. So let's find something for this to do. System tools, scan disk, there we are. Thorough, automatically fix errors. Right, so here are the results from ScanDisk. Now this took a very long time. It took about an hour, so a little bit slow. But at least we can see that there's no bad sectors and everything appears to check out. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that all looks good anyway. Oh gosh, this blooming... This touchpad, well, it's not a touchpad, it's a pressure pad, because if you've seen the last video, you saw me moaning about it. You have to sort of, you can't just swipe along like that, otherwise it just won't do anything. You need to actually sort of press down on it in order for it to actually move. So yeah, that's fun. Anyway, so that's done. Now, one thing I've been meaning to do is line up the icons. Oh, it wants to do it at the top of the screen. There we are, that's better. Right, so what shall we do now? We've done scan disk. I might have to defragment the drive, because as I say, it was being a bit slow earlier on. System tools. There it is. Right, so that's going to do that now. Gosh, I didn't even think that Windows 98 had a defragmenter, but I thought that was introduced in XP originally. But anyway, let's leave it to do that. And I think that's basically it, because we've done software and we've had a look at the hardware. It's good to see that no grease got through to the internal components. And I mean, I do need to clean around the keyboard still, because that's still a bit mucky, but I'm sure I could do that at a different time anyway. So I believe that's basically it for today's video. I'm just going to let this defragment its hard drive now, and that's about it. So I do hope you all enjoyed this video very much. Now, if you want to support my channel, you can do so not by giving it any money, but by simply subscribing to it, as this gives me some more motivation to make future videos. Right, so until the next video, which will be on a boxed copy of Windows 3.1, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, morning, evening, night, or whenever it is for you, and goodbye. Next time we'll be looking at callbacks to old video games and taking a look around this boxed copy of Windows 3.1. Now, this isn't spotless, there is quite a bit of damage on this unit, so we'll be taking a look at what can be done to restore it, and until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.